Good morning, everyone. My name is Terry Pruner. I'm the program coordinator for the Office Administration program at Centennial College. The slide that you see in front of you is what we're going to talk about today. This is just a brief orientation and welcome to Centennial College and this program. These are the things we're going to talk about. First is why I'm here. That's sort of an opportunity for you to reflect even at this moment as we get towards this point of beginning this program. It's always nice to remind yourself, I'm here to accomplish this. What is this? And I find when people give that ongoing thought, that way they can sort of consistently connect the dots through their experience at Centennial College. When you're in class, when you're working with people on projects, you're always thinking about that one thing, going back to why am I here? What am I trying to achieve? And I've got a little exercise to share with you on that in a moment. Then I want to talk to you about how people learn, and that connects to how we teach. So, of course, we know you. We have a good understanding of our different groups of students and what their learning preferences are. And we're always aware of that while we're teaching to make sure that you're engaged, because if you're engaged, you're probably learning. And I'll explain a little bit of how we do that. And then lastly, I'll just talk about our office administration streams. At this point in the program, you can go in virtually any direction. And I'm going to explain why that's the case. So just for fun, if you click on this link, if you're on your computer, or if you want to read that code from your cell phone, that'll bring you to something called a Padlet. And a Padlet is a little piece of software that we use to help us to engage students. So if I were to click on this now, you'll see it launches my browser and brings you to this little page here. And all you have to do is click on that button, the plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner, and it opens up a box. And you can see I can type what I want in the box. You can do that at any point in this discussion. And I'll bring you to this next slide, which is about how you learn and how we teach. So VARC is an acronym that describes different learning styles. So for example, the V is for visual, the A is for auditory, R is for read, write, and the K is for kinesthetic. So basically the way the theory works is that we all learn in different ways. And as a result, we want to identify sort of our preferred style of learning and look for opportunities to learn in that way. Or it provides others with opportunities to identify how we learn best so they can customize learning to our needs. So in this case, it would be our program. So know that when you're in class, whether it be virtual or in person, the faculty that's with you is always thinking, okay, how do I keep people engaged? How do we keep them interested? Like we know, for example, that if I just talk to you for 15 minutes, you can probably hang in there for 15 minutes, but longer than that, you're going to start getting a little bit restless. So in that case, I'll put a video up, or I'll get the class to do some sort of activity. Activity is the kinesthetic piece. Read, write is, maybe I'll assign a reading for you to do before class, or I'll get you to read something to the class. And then auditory is people like to listen, and often they learn by having a conversation. So the slide that you see, it basically identifies that we know that if we just talk, we're probably going to get about a 10% retention rate. That's how much you'll remember. And then, as we keep going down the scale, you can see where at the bottom, this immediate use of learning piece is where we look at every possible opportunity for you to be applying what you learn in school. So that could be anything from a case study to learning how to use a stethoscope, anything like that. So everyone in the first semester is taking the same courses. If you're in the OA exec program, it'll change slightly in second semester, but it doesn't preclude you from choosing any option in the future. So basically what we have in this virtual room is what we have people who have signed up for the Office Admin General Certificate. That's a one-year certificate that basically gives you all the skills you need to be an administrative assistant. Okay, it's great. in a lot of cases, people get into that program and they think, well, you know what, maybe I'd like to specialize. Maybe I'd like to go into legal. Maybe I want to be a legal administrative assistant, or maybe I want to go into healthcare. So they can change their mind. Or maybe I see myself as sort of management material. So maybe I'll go into OA executive because that has sort of a leadership component to it. So, knowing that, enter your first semester with a plan just to work hard, learn everything you can, ask questions. Keep in mind, our, faculty, we see them as a bridge, not a wall. Okay, we're here to get you to a destination, whatever that destination you identified, whatever it is that's your goal. We want to understand that, and we want to motivate you and teach you towards that. Okay, so that's the first semester. You get into the second semester. More of those types of learnings. It's a lot about desktop software and that kind of thing. Then in the second semester, you can also again change your mind. You can move into whatever stream you want. You can move into legal. You can move into health. You can move into executive. So if you move into legal, the opportunity is there as administrative assistant in a law practice. There's a very high demand for people who do this work right now. So, again, that's a consideration. What makes it challenging? There's a bit of terminology, similar to OA health that you have to learn, but it's well within the learning ability of anyone on this webinar. So that's legal, and at some point you might want to further your education. You might we call them pathways. You might want to find a pathway into a paralegal program, and often our paralegal students end up as going into law and becoming lawyers. So you've got that pathway there. In OA Health, imagine yourself working, say, in a hospital or in a clinic of any kind. So lots of opportunities again come up for OA Health. Imagine it could be working in an emergency department. It could be in a back office in a hospital somewhere. In other words, it doesn't face patients. It could be in any type of clinic, veterinary, dentist, chiropractor, any of those. Okay, and again, when you look at career pathing, okay, so this puts me into that position. What gets me to the next level? Well, you'd have to go back to school. You'd have to get, let's say you got into a hospital and you're in a in a department that does x-rays. And you think, oh, I'd like to be an x-ray technician. Well, there's a little pathway for you into that sort of career. Then you go back to school or you go back part-time. There's all kinds of options for you now. The last stream I'll talk about is executive, and typically these are the leaders within the OA program, people who are interested in some sort of management. So again, imagine if you're the right hand of some executive, and she needs you to be taking care of her every business need, from setting up plane tickets to managing her schedule, whatever it might be. Those people are fairly well rewarded. So you can again, as you advance in this type of career path as an executive assistant, you could be $80,000-$100,000 a year. These are big paying jobs. And they've got a nice pathway into it again, which is office administration. And then, in a lot of cases, these folks end up as line managers or department managers, again, because you're working for an executive, you're learning how the department works. And in a lot of cases, you end up being the person who's has the most experience or knowledge about the business when opportunities come up. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you do have leadership interests, that might be a great pathway for you. So in the absence of any questions, you can send me an email at any time. So thanks for joining us today, and we'll look forward to meeting with you when you begin your program.